Hello, everyone, and welcome to Imagination Sessions. This is David
Hi, how you guys doing?
Tobin.
This is Elizabeth Saint. I don't even know if I'm pointing the right way.
No, actually, I'm below you.
You are. Okay, so
I
this is right.
know.
There she is. Hey, it's
Yeah.
like Brady Bunch.
So David
This
Tobin is the founder of Audio Jack. I am the
and,
CEO of Cosm, and tonight we have a very special guest, Lena Hall.
yes, very excited about this. And we're going to hang out with her for a little bit. We're going to get to know about the imagination with her a little bit, her take on it. And then we're all going to do an audio jack together. Even you at home, you're going to be doing it with us. It's going to be wonderful. Should we bring her in? Should we get Alina in here?
Yeah, let's bring her in.
All right, here we go. We need to get like fake round of applause. Like, yay. There it is. Hello. Your audio, you are unmiked. There we go.
Hi,
Hello. How are you?
I'm very good. Oh, there's a delay. A delay.
Oh, you have the audio. Yeah. Turn the audio off on your browser.
Okay.
There you go. That'll make life a little easier for you. Awesome. This is cool. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, this is gonna be really fun. So, we just did a quick little introduction, and we're saying like, here we are. We're here, we're hanging out with the one and only Lena Hall, and we're gonna talk about the imagination with you, which I think is really fun because it's such a broad topic, and it impacts our lives in so many different ways, and it's not something people really talk a lot about. So, very curious to get your take on it. But before we get into that, I mean, a lot of people know you from a lot of different areas and things like that. But tell our audience what you've been up to lately out here.
I am currently up in Vancouver filming season 3 of Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer season 2 is airing right now. I think the season finale two-parter is coming on Monday. Monday?
Oh.
Yeah, Monday. And on Tuesday, it will be all over the world on Netflix. But yeah, I've been doing that, and I'm trying to get back into the creative swing of things because right before we went into lockdown, I was actually writing a lot and had all these writing projects going. And then when we went into lockdown, it was like my creative brain decided to take a hiatus and go on pause with the world because I really thought it was only going to be like 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks went to a month, and then months, went by. And now we're at a year. And I'm like, all right, I haven't written a thing, and I want to get my projects back going. But I realized and I noticed that over time, my brain has gotten really, really foggy. I'm suffering from brain fog, and I actually looked it up because I was like, it can't be only me. Like, what is going on? Why can't I focus on anything? Like, I go and I have an idea, I sit down to do it, and I completely forget what it is. I'm so distracted by everything, and it's like I don't have the focus I used to have before we went into lockdown. And I'm like, this is really disconcerting. I feel like I'm kind of in the ether, like I just feel like I'm all over the place, kind of ditzy and just forgetful, and things are slipping my mind and all that kind of stuff. And so I looked it up, and I found an article that was like kind of the link between our screen time and this brain fog and depression. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, because before the pandemic, I wasn't on my phone as much. I was, walking around, doing stuff, seeing people face to face. And then when we went into lockdown, it became Instagram. It became news. It became everything that was on screen. And then I started performing on screen, Zoom, and spending hours in front of my computer performing and also on Instagram. I mean, my screen time jumped probably from, 6 hours to 8 hours a day.
I don't even want to think about it.
Which is still like,
really
yeah,
don't.
which is, it's still a lot,
You guys,
right?
I got some
6 to 8
real
hours.
numbers for you here. I actually have some real numbers here for the average person. Do you want to guess? So you say like 6 to 8 hours.
No, that before
yeah.
the pandemic. Now it was like 16 hours
That's actually the average amount someone spends in front of a screen right now. 16 hours a day people are spending in
What?
front of a screen.
Yeah.
16. But that's also indicative of how what's happening to society, our culture, our element on. But if you think about it, like if you take all the time, you wake up in the morning, some people check their phone, then maybe they scroll a little bit. That's a screen. Then they go, they make breakfast or whatever. Maybe they're watching TV. Maybe they're on an iPad. Maybe they're on their computer all day. Then maybe they get on their Peloton and then they're in front of another screen.
Yeah.
Or they go do something else and they're in front of another screen. And it's like these screens all around our lives. And that's actually the science behind that. The reason why you're getting a brain fog, why people are being stagnated, is because you're not allowing your mind to refresh itself. So when you daydream, when you're daydreaming, you get a light form of REM activity in your mind. And it's your mind essentially refreshing itself. It's like background operation or defragmenting, if you want to use like technical terms and stuff. Like you close your eyes, you're daydreaming. But the thing is when people have the opportunity to daydream, they generally pull out a device and start scrolling or tweeting or doing whatever, instead of allowing their mind to have that. Exactly, right? Yeah, it's like, oh, I got a minute. You're sitting there on the bus stop, maybe you're waiting for the next train or whatever, instead of just kind of letting your mind wander, it's like, oh, I got to do something. Even though this thing is going to alert me if I need to look at it, I'm still going to go look at it.
Yeah.
And so what that does is that creates stress and anxiety, because what's happening is the mind isn't able to actually process the information. So it creates anxiety because all that information that should have been processed and focused on gets built up and it becomes more impacted. And that stresses you out because of that, which then leads to the anxiety. But then when it's time to go to bed, you haven't had time to process all this stuff. And it's like all these train cars, Snowpiercer reference, there we go, essentially all backed up, right?
Way to go.
Yeah. But seriously, it's that element of it. Instead of having this fluid, off to dreamland, it's all packed up. And then so when you lay down to go to bed, it gives you insomnia or depression or other elements, because now it's quiet and you're suddenly processing everything at once.
Yeah.
And that's been a really big problem for a lot of people, because they're doing that to themselves. So you're definitely not alone, and it's a very real thing that's happening.
Yeah, it's become.
I'm sure there's others out there too.
Yeah. It just became the go-to, like always trying to figure out what's going on with the virus, and then it was all this politics shit, and like all of just it compounded to where it became an addiction and less of it wasn't a choice anymore. It became the addiction. And it always makes me sad that the first thing I do in the morning is get on my phone and like check my messages from my husband. Of course, I'm away from home, so I have to do that. But check my messages from my husband and look at Instagram. It's like, and scroll. I mean, and it's become this odd, controlling thing. And you're
checking to see, like, has the world blown up? Is there something terrible I need to check? Is my husband okay? What's going on next? Because it's literally for the past year, it's been like there was a meme going around a while with Jean-Luc Picard on the bridge of the Enterprise, and it was like damage report, like waking up every day in 2020, damage report, like what just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That is very true, though.
Yeah, I mean, Elizabeth, are you feeling the same stuff? Like, are you echoing some of the same things that Lena's talking about?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's gotten a million times worse. Because I think before the pandemic, I was traveling like every other week for work, and this is the longest I've been home in like the past 5 years. So it's been wild. And like parts of it have been good, but
sure.
At the same time, like the screen time I've noticed has absolutely affected me for sure. And the anxiety part too, I think I like that you're talking about makes sense. And sometimes it's not even a social media thing. Sometimes it's like I could be more productive thing. It's like there's something I know I could be doing right now to fill this time and space,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The pressure to produce when you go to be productive and nothing is happening because you get so distracted by all the notifications on your phone. Like, going to sit down and be like, I'm going to write that scene I was thinking about. And then you're like, look at all these mail notifications that I need to clear. And then you open up your browser for no reason because it's, it's now ingrained in you, and you go on Twitter and you're like, wait, how did I get here? I didn't mean to do this. I just wanted to open up Final Cut, or Final Draft, I'm like,
so it's
wait,
interesting
what was that scene?
Yeah, but it's interesting how but it's interesting how you're connected to your imagination. Like, it's like, sure, there's things we could get through the day, like I got to take out the garbage, I gotta do these things, but like when you're trying to get into that creative space, which already I imagine is challenging, because it's not like you could just sit down and be able to put something amazing together in such a creative space, but then having this on top of it, like it's really asking a lot of yourself as someone, and how your imagination plays into that.
Yeah. And also the pressure of trying, as creatives, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be like, we must create at all times, and that can get depressing because we never give ourselves the moment to relax, because creativity goes in waves. You do not have
that's
to
the interesting
constantly
things.
appear. You can go and have a break and then come back, but for me, it's like there's been no comeback. It's been it's been just like a flat line.
It's crazy because it's such a blatant segue into audio jack. It's just like it's so there. But I want to come back and talk about it. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. So for those of you that are watching and to understand what we're going to be doing here, the wonderful background, we're going to be doing an audio jack later today. And for those of you that aren't aware, an audio jack is an audio-based movie. So you listen to it, you close your eyes and you listen, and you let your mind go. Basically do everything that we're telling you we haven't been able to do. And there's no words, there's no video, there's no music. It's all sound design. It's hundreds of sounds that are edited together to tell a story for your imagination. We've actually done work with different programs. We just did a year ago, we did a study with UC Riverside's Brain program about the importance of taking an actual break and letting your mind engage in this, and taking a break and doing an audio jack, and how that does affect your mind. Because when you listen to one, when you're being creative and you're daydreaming, you're getting that REM activity. And this isn't meditation or anything like that. I mean, that's great in its own right, but it's different. And it's really about the importance of our imagination. And I think it gets overlooked a lot. I know we all have imaginations and we all use them, but like Lena, do you feel that the imagination is somewhat of this thing that's taken for granted in some capacity, and we're not treating it as well? Like, you go to the gym, you work out your body. I'm making sure I get all this together, but you don't go work out your imagination. You don't go take care of your imagination. And I feel like it's something that needs it.
Yeah, we as children, we are not, we don't have these confines as we learn, as we grow up. The more we experience life, the more then these kind of parameters start to close in on our imagination and being wildly creative. Like when we were kids, when I was kid, my imagination was crazy, and I could make up dances on the spot, tell stories my sister and I, we have our own our own radio station, and we could go for hours talking about these things. But we were kids, and no one was telling us no, you can't do that, no this, no that. And as you hear no and you get older, it's like these parameters are put on your imagination, makes it tighter and tighter. No, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. And I think it's just so important, because not only does imagination, creativity, entertain us, but it also is the thing that people use in order to solve major problems, like creating a vaccine. Sometimes you have to think outside of the box. You can't think outside the box if you don't have an imagination, if you don't have creativity. So I think the arts are taken for granted. They're very, very necessary all over the world for all different types of professions to solve all different types of problems. And we become so by the book that we sometimes forget that it's okay to color way outside the lines and get off the page and even go onto the walls. That's okay, metaphorically. Yeah. Unless you
or literally.
Or literally, whatever you want.
Come on.
It would drive me crazy because I have a thing about window. But we don't foster that, especially in school anymore, you know. And the more arts that's being taken out of school, it's like it's really sad, because I don't think people are making the connection between the creative mind and, you know, and problem solving, like it just in the general world. Yeah. So I want to get back into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting to think about that too, like how, you know, these elements of it, because it is, I mean, it also leads to social emotional learning, how we deal with other people. Like, you have to imagine yourself in someone else's shoes before you can empathize for them. And it's like, you don't think about that step of imagining, like working on that skill. Like, how can you understand what someone else is going through if you can't put yourself in their space? But if you can't even understand how to use your imagination, then you're never going to get there. In other areas. It's really interesting to think about that. But I really think that's true. I mean, people have to imagine all the time, and I think we don't really do anything about it. I mean, or do we, Elizabeth? I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think it's kind of hit and miss, or what?
I think this past year has made it very difficult for people to remember that feeling, especially since I know for myself, it's awkward just interacting with people if you try to go to the grocery store these days. It's just like there's an awkwardness amongst communication in general. I find it's like, and I feel like the way we've been confined, it extends out in like times and places. I mean, so much of our time the past year, people weren't going outdoors as much. And I know for me in particular, a lot of my imagination is derived from like just like going on hikes or being in open space or being able to interact with my environment. And if my environment is in the same space every single day for the entire year, like your imagination just is a little crazier, maybe have some weird dreams, but you're not really exercising it the way you probably should. And I don't know.
Yeah, I get all my ideas and do all my writing and creating on planes, in cars, because when I listen to music, that's when I get all my ideas, and I never listen to music at home. I always listen to it in the car, out on a walk, or like on a plane. Like on a plane is where I get all my ideas, you know, because you're kind of sit there and listen to music. I'm like, oh, I can see that scene like playing out in front of my, you know,
out amongst the clouds.
Yeah.
We are also locked away from all the other distractions of the world. Like, I like getting on a plane and being in that space because no one else can bug me. Like, I'm not dealing with emails. I can just be in my zone. And it's almost like I don't have to be productive because I'm being productive because I'm traveling from one place to another. So I can just go. Like, I'm not at home where I could be emailing or dealing with something else, another project or building something or whatever.
Right. Another thing is you can't really escape people because people are like, I know you're home.
Oh, it's true.
What else are you doing? You know, like, why are you not taking my call or something like that? But I feel like I've literally spoken to more people than I probably have. I don't know, on a daily basis than normal for sure, but it's not natural. There's something so unnatural about it.
So being on set, like right now, Lena, are you feel like you're able to use your imagination within this element? Is it not necessarily therapeutic? What's it like to be able to do that? Because, you know, it's kind of an outlet. I know you're not able to go tour and, you know, play and sing live and perform live, but you're able to like have an outlet in some capacity. Yeah. How has that been for you? Has it been a really positive thing? Has it been tougher to do that because you don't have everything else leading to that?
Well, like the way we're filming, I got to film one day so far. I've been up here more than a month and I got to film one day. And it's interesting because the minute we started doing the scenes and even the minute I got into the costume fitting, I was like, I have an idea. Like, can we do this, and that? I was like, it's not gonna be that. And they're like, okay, yeah. So it was like it was like backed up. I'm like, I know what's gonna happen here. We're
proves
gonna do
it right
this.
there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I mean, if this season 3, if Miss Audrey is way over the top, it's because she's been, canned and like a thing, and it's suddenly like a camera, hi, it's like I'm acting, and it's like jazz hands all over the place.
Oh my god, I was gonna say there's gonna be like Fosse all day, like on stage,
All
like look
fucking
at me.
day. Yeah, exactly. Like my character is Snowpiercer is gonna be like, whoa, what happened to her?
That's
She
awesome.
went nuts. But
Nice.
it was nice. The one day I got to be on set, I came home and I was like, oh, okay, that was really fun. I'm in a much better mood. And then we had a COVID scare and got shut down. So it's
Nice.
very frustrating. And all the protocols and everything, it makes it less, it makes it a little less fun, a little less relaxed. But
Yep.
at the end of the day, I'm happy that I get to tell a story, even though it's someone else's story. Like, I still get to tell a story, and
Yeah.
I have some control over what I get to do as far as like how I look and like the whole thing. So, so I get to have some creativity, but I always have an outlet, and that was always writing. And it's been it's been pulling teeth trying to do that. I'm finding every excuse to get myself to get myself out of writing. I'm like, oh, the kitchen's dirty, I'll go clean the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh wait, what are all these useless files on my computer? Maybe I should organize them before I start to like anything. I don't know. It's just been hard to get back into the swing of things. So yeah,
All right,
I don't know
well,
if it's fear or if it's I don't know what it is, but it's certainly
I feel
a
like
block.
part of it is I have a theory on two of the things. I think one of it is that we're not able to do the things that give us energy back in our life, to be at concerts, to be around people, to be social. Humans are social animals, and that social interaction everyone feeds off of, and all these other elements to it. And those are things that like allow us to have that ebb and flow into our life. And then the other
Mm.
part of it is there is a fear. There is like, if I'm doing this, am I missing out on something else? Because there's so much chaos and uncertainty in the world. We don't really have the same confines to work within in our own kind of safety parameters, because everyone's business model for the way we do life, the way we entrepreneur our lives or whatever, has been shattered. And so now we're all trying to figure it out and patch it together. And sometimes we'll get traction and something else will happen. And like I was doing a huge program with another company today with the thing with Twitch, and out of the blue, they're like, oh, we're pulling all the funding because we think the vaccine is going to make everything better. We're going to change this now. It's like out of the blue. It's like people make these decisions, and it's like, okay, well, are we going to go back to this? It's like everyone's trying to jump ahead. I think that
Yeah.
uncertainty could add to it. So I think I've got a great way to help a little bit, and I think the audience will dig it too. I say we do an audio jack and
All
let
right.
everyone jump in. And I have a special one for you tonight that I thought I was going back on a couple of them and trying to think of which one to do. And there's one in particular that I thought would be very appropriate this evening. So appropriate, so fancy. Yeah, it's a really cool one that I think you're gonna like. So what we're going to do, this for everyone that's watching live on Cosm on the website, and everyone on the different Facebooks that are checking this out in the chat, you're going to play along with us, and this is going to be really fun. We're going to jump inside the Audio Jack app, and we are going to listen to an audio jack. As I mentioned before, it's an audio-based movie, so we're all going to close our eyes and just chill. You're going to do the same. And we're going to listen to it twice, because the first time you hear it, it's your first time hearing this thing, and you're like, oh, okay, it might change along the way, because it's all sound design. So your imagination is going to process this as it happens. Then the exact same one is going to play a second time. And if you have pen and paper handy, use this time to brainstorm or to take notes. But this is your chance to take this and make it the story you want it to be. It's whatever you want it to be. It's going to have a title, but that can be irrelevant. If you're listening to it and you think you're, running through the forest and there's a teddy bear chasing you and lasers are coming out of his eyes, then that's what the story is, and that's awesome. And that's what it's about. It's about engaging your imagination, having fun, and doing something different with it. And it's really neat. So we're all going to do this together. Then after we're done listening to the audio jack the second time, everyone in the audience, I want you to write in the comments on whatever platform you're on, write what you're coming up with your story. And then the three of us are going to share ours. And then there's the time left, we're going to go through and read the audience's stories and see what everyone came up with. So it's going to be super fun. I'm really excited to do this. So we're going to jump right in here. I know Lena's like, what do you have in mind? I'm a little nervous. Trust me, I think you're going to dig it. So here we are. We're jumping inside the Audio Jack app. I need some sound effects for this. All right, there we are, everyone. We are inside. As you can see, there's a bunch of different categories. Today, I thought, because we have a very special guest, we should go into the life category. And I did meet Lena the first time in New York. It was actually my first trip to New York, believe it or not, Lena, when I met you.
Really?
When I went out there to produce. Yeah, I was a producer on Legally Blonde,
the Search for Ones. Ah!
Yeah. Oh my God, you guys. I will never do that again. Sorry. No, I cannot bend and snap. It's really bad and embarrassing. So don't ask.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes,
but that
you
was an
can.
amazing experience. Oh, I can. Yes, I can. All right.
It was an interesting experience, I'll say that.
Yeah, it was really fun, but I made some lifelong friends out of it, which, Lena, obviously, Natalie, so many other people that we know out in that world.
Yep.
But we are not going to do the New York Audio Jack today. We are going to do the stage. Yes. Because I saw you post something, and I think this might be a welcome Audio Jack for you. So what we're going to do, everyone, is I'm going to hit play. I'm going to mute everyone's mics so it eliminates any exterior stuff. And this is going to play twice. So the first time, just listen to it. Just let your imagination go. And then it's going to play a second time and then make the story what you want it to be. And then we'll share. So without further ado, I'm going to mute myself as well. And I'm going to hit play and we're going to jump in. So sit back, relax, get comfortable, and enjoy. that same audio jack is going to play one more time. Now put that together and make it the story you want it to be. Whatever narrative you come up with, that's what it is. Then we'll share in a couple minutes. There we go. You guys unmute yourselves. Um, Gosh, it's funny. It's like it cuts off right there, and I'm like, no, I want more. I want to be in the concert. Take me now. Awesome. That was really fun. Concert movie. Some people are starting to write in the comments. That's awesome. So you've all had a chance to that. Hopefully you got some imagery. Hopefully you got some kind of story going on from that inspired something, whether it's fictional or nonfiction, whatever it is. And now we're going to go around and we're going to share a little bit and see what we came up with. And just so you know, while we were doing that, there was a bunch of healthy things happening in your mind. And hopefully you feel a little more relaxed or a little fun after that. I think, Elizabeth, would you like to go first or I'll go first? And then I think Lena should go last.
You go first.
All right, I'll go first. All right, fantastic. All right, so for that one, so I've heard this one a couple times, but that one, it made me feel like there was a tour bus parked. Like I got New York, but like Brooklyn, New York, like outside Brooklyn, like maybe even like Dumbo area or something like that. But there's a tour bus parked on the side, and it's me, but I'm a famous musician, and then I'm there to play a special like set. I'm playing only just a couple songs with this other band that has a big show going on. And so I leave the bus and I start walking along, and it's kind of by the water. I see trains and stuff like that. And I see the crowd over to one side. I hear one person go, "Oh my God, is that? I don't know," or whatever. And it's like just kind of walked with my head down. There's a security guard at the back in this alleyway, a big giant guy I got for some reason. He just opens the door for me and I just walk in. There's a room. I hop in there and sitting down, just kind of chilling. There's some craft service that had been like mulled over already. I saw an empty bag of potato chips. Like the room just looks like it's been used properly. And so I just grabbed some chips. I don't even know what they are. I'm just kind of eating them. And then I get a text and someone asking me if I can get them into the show. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm about to go on stage. Like, are you crazy? And that's the text message I send them. And then I send that off. And then I get a knock at the door. I tune the guitar. And for some reason, the guitar was like a really old guitar. Like it felt really old for some reason. And then I'm led up to the stage, and I got this weird imagery that it was like a house of blues inside a bigger arena for some reason, because of the wood element to it. Like I'm walking up the scaffolding, and then I get to the stage. I look around and I see the rest of the band. They're all kind of ready. They've been playing a couple songs. The curtain's down. They're about to open it again for my reveal. And then at that moment, all of a sudden, I became Slash. And suddenly it wasn't me anymore, and it was Slash. And all of a sudden it's like trying to, there's a guitar tech trying to get the mic, the cable in, get the ground in. He gets it in there, and then the singer jumps off a PA and woohoo, and then turns around and hits that first chord, and the concert just takes off. But for some reason, all of a sudden, I wasn't me anymore. It was Slash, and I wasn't the rock star. So whatever.
Nice.
That's what I got. That's what I got in mind. So there you are. I really want to be at a concert right now, really, really bad.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon or something like that. But that's what I came up with mine. I see some stories starting to come in. This is awesome. I can't wait to read them. Elizabeth, how about?
So for me, I kind of imagined, because everything was so quiet aside from the noises you would hear, like at no point did it seem like they were interacting with anybody else. And so, like you, I imagined a guy on the tour bus that was parked in like the alley somewhere in a city.
Oh, all right.
And he's sitting there. There was another band playing before him. They kind of let him know it's his time coming up to go on. So just make your way, to the room to wait. And I felt like he was doing like a lot of contemplating just at that time. This is his last tour that he's going to go on. This is actually his last show. So he's kind of taking everything in on the way in, the bus stopping,
nice.
Looking out the window, greeting the security guy, just kind of like acknowledging that he's there, but everything's kind of more in slow motion for him. He gets to the dressing room, they left like a bottle of water and a bag of chips on the table for him, so he starts munching on those. He's responding to some texts, but I didn't imagine I knew what they were saying, but it was more like taking in the environment of what he was feeling. It's like taking out the guitar like he's done a million times, tuning it up. he gets that knock on the door, and as he just like closes the case enough, because you still hear it jangling when he's going to the stage, enough not to fall out. And then, you know, I think the realization sets in, this is the last time they're going to be doing something like this, and you hear that breath, and then he goes on to perform the last time.
Wow, nice.
So that's what
really,
I got.
I like that. What kind of music is he playing? Is he a rocker? Or is he a country, metal, punk, pop, or is it like classic rock?
It was hard because I think the band before was a little louder. But I imagined he was doing like an acoustic version of his songs at the end. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Lena, how about you? And what did you think? You know, I picked this one because I saw you post a couple days ago, like, I cannot wait to get back on stage. And so I thought this was appropriate.
for sure, yeah. The first thing I heard was shave and a haircut 2 bits. So I heard that, and I thought, oh, it's a clown on a bus at Port Authority. He just got there. And he's got giant shoes on, and he's carrying a giant suitcase, and he's walking down the street, and of course it sounds like New York because of the sirens, and walks past a club, and let's see, he goes, because I wanted to write this down. He walks between 2 buildings. One is like a club, and the other one is his destination to wait. And standing there is his mini manager, waiting for him at the door. And so he goes in and sits down, and there's a giant thing of Pringles chips.
Oh, okay.
And so he takes the giant thing off and starts eating these gigantic Pringles chips that get all over his nose and, you know, all over his clown outfit and his clown feet. And then he takes out like a giant, you know, like everything's oversized for some reason. I don't know why. He's got this giant cell phone, and he types in shave and a haircut 2 bits on his phone. And then he puts that away and takes out the giant guitar, and then starts tuning his giant guitar. He's finished tuning his giant guitar, puts it back in the case, and his mini manager comes back and is like, it's time. And so, you know, he picks up his guitar, picks up the big giant case with the guitar in it, and brushes off some of the Pringles, but there's still Pringles on his nose. And he's walking behind his mini manager, so they're kind of baller, right? It's like his mini manager and like the giant clown with the giant suitcase and the giant feet and the giant everything. And he gets, you know, the manager takes him backstage, and there's a giant crowd, and I remember now. When he's in the room getting ready and like doing the guitar, he's sitting on a blown up like a balloon, you know. So he's not sitting on a chair; he's just like sitting on a balloon that's making that squeaking sound. And and then of course he gets backstage. There's tons of balloons, and he's like the greatest clown on earth. He sold out this big venue, and he's going out to basically like throw balloons and like, you know, spray the audience with water. And the band that's there is just like this backup band. They're like there to, you know, like they're like there to do like the badum-chings and stuff like that. So it's like his introduction music. They give him a microphone, and he's ready to go out there, and he's like, wow, and he goes out there. And the audience goes crazy. Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
Great. I love that.
I'm like so happy after hearing that story.
Yes.
Just a clown and a mini manager, and it's like the most famous clown on earth.
That is awesome. As you were
below the
saying
clown
clown, I suddenly like I got a cross between Gallagher and Steve Martin playing the jerk for some reason. I don't know why. Just
Oh,
something.
interesting. And I'm seeing
Yes.
like Pennywise.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But with like a big, you know what I mean? Like I'm seeing like a really weird, like everything oversized shoes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Well, no, I
Yeah.
mean like, but them as a clown, like just for some
Yeah.
reason that
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like
like
somebody
the
was just
clown
kind of
and the
like
manager walking down the hallway together.
the manager.
Yeah.
I got Vern Troyer. I mean that's
Exactly.
Like,
Mini manager walking in front
Yeah.
of him like a badass.
oh my
you know,
God.
he's like
That was.
I want
I love
that
it. We have a
version in, like that version in slow motion. I feel like
yes, that
moment
baller
would've
shot
been-
down there
Yeah.
like that. He's like
yeah. It
the
was
hair, the overtie. Wait,
It was
wait.
the
Let me adjust the bow tie.
Yeah, exactly. It was the shave and a haircut at the very top. It was like
Yeah.
That's I heard that and it was like couldn't get away from it being a clown. And I was like, and here we go. The clown has got a guitar now. This is very strange.
Yes.
Not what I thought.
Oh
You
my
know, like,
God.
Just going with
All right, I like it. I like it. I like it.
Didn't wanna
That's
change
fun.
that.
How did you feel listening to that and going through that? Was that fun? Was that like relaxing to take a break and play with your imagination at all?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's
Always,
awesome.
yeah.
We've got a little bit of time left, and we have a lot of comments on the different shares here. There's 70 comments on one, and there's 54 on the other. So we've got a lot of people
Amazing.
in here, and there's some stories. Do you want to go through and we can like? I'm trying to find all the comments here.
I see one from Marsha Martin. It's
yeah, let's read them.
Female
Okay.
heels, maybe heels,
Okay.
leaves work in the city, drives home, parks, walks to apartment, snacks on some chips, tunes guitar. Someone knocks. She takes her guitar. They walk to a venue where they prepare to play for a crowd. Full house. Meet up with their friends in the band. Have a rockin' night.
I like it. I've got one here on the Cosm site from Daniel Watkins. His is a man walking home from being out of the town, comes home after a long day and grabs a bag of his snacks sitting on his kitchen counter. By the way, in the comments, when you said Pringles, it was like Pringles. Like everyone's just like, yes. I actually ordered some on my Instacart and they didn't come. So I'm really disappointed, but that's amazing.
No,
Nice job on the Pringles.
It did make me really hungry for some chips.
Yeah, I
will
am
say.
hungry. Yeah, what kind of chips did you have in yours, Elizabeth?
I don't know
Okay.
actually. I didn't think about that.
I had Ruffles.
That didn't come
Go
to me.
figure.
No, they were
Ruffles!
Crunchy.
Yeah.
Ruffles
Louis Fish
have ridges.
Daniels.
It
delivered it.
needed crunch, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Good
He
one.
said he's eating his snacks on his kitchen counter, eats a few, sits down at his computer, turns it on while it's booting. He grabs his acoustic guitar and retunes the strings. Hears a knock at the door. Upon entering the door, he knows the person and grabs his coat and heads out the door. They walk down the hall to the rear entrance of a concert hall, and the musician that was adjusting his strings is now walking onto stage, and the crowd roars. I like that.
Very
That
nice.
is awesome. Yeah.
I got another one. Jen Fitzpatrick. It's a man with cowboy boots on walking out of his van to his concert carrying his guitar case. Goes into the green room to tune up and have a snack and answer his text asking if he's there and excited to go on. Then he gets himself pumped up to go out to the stage and perform. Yep.
I like that.
what
I'm trying to. I see a lot of. I can't read all the comments for some reason on here that are coming through. I'm trying to find it. Mike commented on.
Here's another one. I'll read another one while you figure it out.
I got it. Yep.
Because I'm on my Facebook and I can see him. Ann Fitzgerald says prodigy rock musician kid, 15 or 16,
Oh,
sitting on a stoop,
I like that.
hitting a pickle bucket.
Oh,
All
The-
right.
do you see what Carrie wrote on your page? Someone hopping out of a cab and walking to the venue, passing a busker. I like that. I saw people mention busker in here, and I thought that was really cool to see that pop in.
Yeah.
But a busker on the way gets into the venue, hears the opening act on his way to his dressing room, eats snack, checks his phone, the guitar case, and tunes up, stands up and realizes he's forgetting something and pats his legs. Ooh, I like that. Rhythmically trying to figure out what it is. Feels his lucky guitar pick in his right pocket, and his manager knocks and asks if he's ready. walks onto stage, and I just lost the rest of it. But
Oh,
there's
no.
something. And walks on stage, and it was like, and it starts.
Whoa, walks onto the stage, readies himself, and rocks out. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Someone said that they heard the text coming through. They thought it was their phone. I love that. This is awesome. And the great thing is, like, people are going to be able to watch this back on your page or other places and still be able to comment as they listen along later. I cannot wait to see the other comments that come through here. Everyone's like, Ruffles, yes.
Yeah. Ruffles of riches.
This is awesome. This was a really nice time to spend some time together and do this and hang out with you. Obviously, it's been a while since we've been able to do this in person. And hang with you, Elizabeth, and spend time and do this. But I hope people got to hear a little bit about the imagination and your take on it and why it's important and how it's affected you during this time. Because, as an artist, I imagine, you can't feed off that energy, like of the stage, of just that element of it. And, hopefully we could get it back together sooner, a little bit better. But hopefully this was a nice little break for you to get away from it and have a chance to play with your imagination with some other adults and act like 5-year-olds.
It's fun.
It really was. This is awesome. Yeah, and this is great. Next week, we have Bobby Alt. He's from Street Drum Corps and a couple other drumming projects and stuff out in the world. And then we have Jimmy O coming up after that, which I'm very excited about. This was awesome, Lena. Thank you so much for spending the time with us today and sharing your imagination with us in our little session here.
Absolutely, of course, anytime.
Yeah, it was awesome.
This was great.
It was great to have you.
It really was. And thanks for everyone for commenting and on your social media. Please, keep those comments going and keep sharing it. If you do have questions, if you want to try Audio Jack, you can always go to audiojack.com. You can download the app. It's free. And then this service is provided by Cosm, QOSM. That's who we're streaming. And it's an amazing site with tons of content that is just phenomenal. A lot of independent creators out there doing some amazing things. Thank you, Elizabeth, for creating that platform for everyone and leading us to a more independent entertainment society.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome. I love making you blush. It's super fun. That's awesome.
Thank you to the clown.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, that clown. Holy cow. Yeah. And thank you for everyone. I guess that's a wrap. Is that it, Elizabeth? How do we wrap these up? I never know how to wrap them up.
We say have an amazing weekend.
Yeah, and Mike Archer. Yes, and Mike Archer watching out there. Thank you. Hi. Hello to you.
Yes.
Have a great weekend as well.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night, all.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, bye, I guess.